Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Jokes by Jay podcast. I am very excited because today we have a very special guest, my little sister, Tanya. Welcome, Tanya.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here.
I'm very excited. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with what's happening, but we've told some stories. We've given some backstory about Tanya. She has listened to all the episodes, right?
Yes, I'm a big fan. All of them, as soon as they come out.
I love that. Thank you for your support.
Yeah, of course. I listen to it when I'm sitting in traffic on the 405.
Okay, well, that's something. So you know enough. You know enough. Tanya, as you've heard, I've said a lot about you. I've told people about you moving out here, all of that stuff. They have a lot of backstory. But why don't you introduce yourself?
Tanya, Janine's infamous little sister. You say 8.5 years. I think it's just 8 years apart. Obviously, I'm the baby.
I'm better at math because I'm older, so it's not. But go ahead. It's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. It's what I like to call tea spilling the tea.
She's not good with slogans or phrases, so it's okay. But that's cute. Maybe we'll use that.
I've also heard tea party. So we didn't make any tea for
I don't know what's
tonight.
happening.
Tea party, tea spilling the tea. It's going to be good.
All right. So getting this party started. So Tanya just got back from Hawaii, which happens to be my favorite place. She went to an island I've never been to. Mm-hmm. Where did you go? Tell us about it.
I was in Honolulu for 5, maybe 6 days, 5 nights. It was quite the trip.
Wow.
I went with my significant other. Eric took me. So it was like a Christmas, birthday, his birthday, my birthday, big bash, as some people like to say. But there's no concept of time in Hawaii. So people just eat, drink, sleep in, swim 24/7. So if you're not in a bathing suit, it's awkward.
Well, I can't go yet, but it sounds wonderful. Someone got married there, right? You guys also attended a wedding?
Yeah. My boyfriend, he did a documentary with a guy a couple years ago, and he actually filmed his wedding as a gift to him. He filmed his wedding, but they got married at this Buddhist temple, in the middle of, it was like Jurassic Park.
Oh my God, I love that.
But the craziest, what happened was, we get there and I was so overdressed. It was a very low key wedding and my shoe broke.
Let's just back up a second.
Okay.
When you say overdressed, so you had told me something about this, right? Or something about the invite is say.
The invite said,
yeah.
And don't quote me, but dress as wild or mild as you want. So I wore a nice dress that I couldn't wear every day. It was too much to wear every day. And then I wore...
But it wasn't a fancy dress you might wear to any other wedding because it said that.
Right.
Is that okay?
I could get away with a backyard picnic.
Okay, so describe the dress. What did it look like?
It was it was a high collar. It was a blushy floral, which I remember I asked you if you could wear blush to a wedding.
Like the sweatshirt I have on right now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I haven't gone to a lot of weddings, so I don't know all the etiquette.
Usually just don't wear black or stark white. But nowadays, I think you can wear black also.
Yeah, I love black.
Shit. Yeah.
And it was sleeveless because it was hot and it was short. And then
club short or wedding appropriate short?
No, I don't do that. Above the knee. It was kind of. I don't wear super form fitted, so it was kind of loose, but it was great.
And then now the shoe broke. So tell us about the shoe. What kind of shoes did you have on?
So I got this pair of, they were vintage designer heels that I got a while ago. And I was so excited to wear them.
What designer, Tanya?
Gucci.
Oh, okay. No big deal. Go ahead.
And the whole sole, is that what you call the bottom?
You do, yeah. It's I think it's you better call Saul as a show, and then a sole is the bottom of the shoe.
I'm dead.
Continue. We don't edit, so keep going.
I'm in Hawaii. I'm in this great place. Mm-hmm. Everyone looks awesome. I'm so dressed up. The whole bottom of it it doesn't snap, but it separates from the shoe.
Right.
So now there's tourists.
Were they real Gucci shoes?
Yes.
You should write a letter. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Oh, yeah, no. So, and then I saw the Italian writing on the inside, the whole thing fell apart. So of course my boyfriend's oh, can you go get me a soda? And I'm hobbling down.
Does he know the shoe is broken?
Yes, but I didn't want to bring attention to it. And I don't think he actually cared that much.
You don't think he actually cares?
He is
that
fixing
much?
them though for me with Gorilla Glue. So Gucci and Gorilla Glue.
What the F? No, Gucci should do that shit. Go ahead.
So I'm hobbling down this like dirt road in this Buddhist temple to go get him a soda. He's filming the wedding. They just got married, so everyone's like taking pictures.
Is it still connected and you're flip-flopping through kind
I'm
of?
flip-flopping. It's not connected at all.
Oh, it's not connected
And I'm
at all.
thinking I'm wearing like my fanciest shoes here, and I'm watching tourists watch me hobble. And someone comes up to me and they're like, "You're handling that very gracefully." I was like, "Thank you so much." So I'm sitting down and I put that foot down on the ground. I cross my legs so no one sees it. The other one starts to open up.
I can't.
So both
I actually can't.
soles, they're now fully separated from the shoe. So hopefully Eric.
So now they're Gucci flats.
Pretty much. Yes. So that was, and then as soon as we took like a shuttle there, I took them off and I walked into the hotel barefoot, which is kind of not.
You should do that in Hawaii anyway. No, you should do that in Hawaii.
Okay, because it's very Britney Spears.
Not with like a handful of shoe parts in your hand. That's not the look.
That's
but
what
like,
I did though.
Oh, okay. That's awful.
I had no other choice.
I'm
so
very sorry to hear that.
It was kind of like if you took a sub and like held it and the bread.
I'm sorry. Do you mean like a sandwich, like a submarine sandwich? Is that what you're comparing this incident to?
I hope no one from Gucci's watching this because I'm actually
definitely
really
no one from Gucci is watching this. I don't know if anyone will watch this. So holy shit!
If you take a sub sandwich and hold it and the bread kind of just falls, it flaps over. That's what happened. I should have brought the shoes with me. I didn't know you were gonna.
You should have brought the sub
or the sub. I don't eat
I'm fucking
sandwiches,
hungry.
but yeah. So that's what happened at the wedding. I mean, the wedding was great, but I looked like an idiot.
Okay.
So
all right.
yeah.
Did you have a nice time overall?
No, it was great. The whole trip was like, it was hard to come back to work. Obviously, the first day back after
to come back at all
vacation,
really.
The first day back is like brutal. And someone at work like messaged me on Google Chat. They're like, "How was your trip? Like, it looked amazing on Instagram." And I was like, "It's just really brutal to be back at work." But no, the trip was great. It was just swimsuits. I did have a spray tan though going there. I think I sent you.
For those of you who are listening for the very first time, Tanya owns a mobile spray tanning company.
We'll do a link down below.
I don't know how to do that. If I can figure it out, we'll put her socials below. But little note about that. So she doesn't, it's not just that she owns the spray tanning company, but she cannot handle being without a tan. So I recently read an article about a woman who got injections to darken her skin because she identified with a black woman.
It's not like that.
The before and after was incredible, by the way. You guys should look this up. Because again, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, so I can't show you like pretty little pictures that pop up while you watch this. But Tanya is I wouldn't say to that extent, but like she's like, "I'm coming over and I'm so pasty." And I'm like, "Okay." And she comes over and she's not pasty at all. Like she's like, "No, I'm white. Like I can see through my skin. I'm like a ghost." Like I don't know. She sprays herself. Have you now taught your boyfriend how to spray tan you?
So he does like the mousse with the mitt. I haven't pulled out like the professional gun just yet. I don't know if he's ready for that.
Okay, so just for the men that are
I hope he's not listening to
might
this.
be listening or watching this. I hope he does. The mitt with the foam is like there's these mitts that they give you, you put on, and you spray like a tanning foam, and you have to like when you're waxing a car. This is how you guys will relate to this. And you like, you're going in circles. You do that very quickly, like on your skin, and it gives you like a temporary tan.
So the mitt is good for beginners.
Why is he doing that? It's like your back? Like I don't understand. Where in your body is he doing this?
I'm flexible where I can get my back with the mitt, but it's always better. It's like a blowout getting your nails done. It's always better when someone else does it for you. He actually does a pretty good job for someone who doesn't like know anything about spray tan. So I've taught him to do like my shoulder blades, my back, my butt. I mean, that's a whole thing.
What? Your butt?
Well, like the whole back side. I mean, I'm flexible.
Tell us what the butt. He does the butt.
Do you know how to, if you had a mitt in your hand, could you do your shoulder blades right now? No.
I can't reach my fucking shins right now. Okay. So please don't ask me. Oh, so let's talk about shit that Tanya says. So she has certain phrases.
This may be 2 episodes. This may be a 2-parter. I don't know.
Let's hope it's fucking not.
If you can get me back here, I don't know.
She says things like she has a phrase that anytime you tell a joke or she laughs at something, you send her a meme that's funny, it doesn't matter. It's always the same response, which is, "I'm dead." to a point where I'm convinced this bitch has multiple lives. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's always, I'm dead. I'm dead. If it's really like next level funny, it's I'm in a coffin. Like, I can't. And she's just the same like shit every single time, you know? So anyway, I want to talk about, while we're on the tanning subject, I want to talk to you a little bit about your self-care routine, because I've talked about this in terms of me upping my game, in terms of things I've seen, you know, like my friend do. I would like to know, like, what is no, because you also work for a skincare line.
Yeah, we'll do another link down below.
We're not we're not promoting your businesses, but she works for a skincare line and she manages like a bunch of different stores, right?
The LA market. I know it sounds fancy, but LA market.
The LA market. I don't know what that is, but that's what I got. And so I would imagine, because you're into that, you went to makeup school, you own a spray tanning company, that you have a regimen. Is that fair to say?
Yes and no.
Okay, so tell us, on a good day, what is your regimen?
So I have to reverse back to when I was single. I would get
Do
up.
we? Everything is a goddamn... Go ahead.
I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would set my alarm for 3:45, and then I was at the gym I was like on the bike at like 5:30. I would make my coffee and I would work out.
She's also a gym rat, I forgot to mention.
Well, used to be. And
Until she let herself go.
I definitely let myself go. I hope my boyfriend's not watching this. But work out every morning. I would have a ton of energy. I was always doing shakes, smoothies, like super clean, chugging much water, never drank alcohol. I would, if I didn't have to wear makeup, I wouldn't, to kind of let my skin breathe. It's all about the gym and the water and like the shakes and.
But like, just get like, you're washing your face at night. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I mean, I never go to bed without washing my face, and I asked mom that, and our mom never used anything super fancy on her face, but mom looks pretty good.
She has great skin, our mom.
And I asked her, I said, Mom, like, what's like I asked her this a long time ago. I was like, what's like your secret? What do you do? I quote her, sorry, Mom, if this is wrong, but she was like, no matter wherever I was, if I was drunk at a party, which I don't think she ever was, or she's like,
just drunk at home by herself. It's okay.
or she's like, if I was like passed out on the couch, which is true, she goes, I always got up and washed my face. And Mom used like a $2 bar soap, but she never would go to bed with like a dirty face. Nowadays, I've kind of done that because I have let myself go.
You've gone to sleep with your makeup on?
There has been a couple nights.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't even do that. Even if I had my makeup removing face wipes, I at least do that, and I won't wash my face with like soap, but I have the makeup removing face wipes and I use those. I will tell you guys, interestingly enough, I don't know if that's actually like a workable, successful, like you can't go wrong if you wash your face, because our aunt, our mother's sister, for as long as I've been alive, falls asleep with a full face of makeup on every fucking night. Yeah. And this woman does not have a clogged pore. I've never seen a pimple or a blackhead or a clogged pore. It is insane. Yeah. So what I'm convinced of actually is that our mom's side of the family has like, they don't have pores. It's just like it's like plastic skin. Like there's no holes in any of it.
Middle Eastern plastic skin.
I don't have that. I can see the pores on my nose, my chin.
You look great.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all about washing your face. To me, if I'm like,
but do you put like you do like the fucking toner and the cream and the under the eyeballs? Like, are you doing any of that?
I mean, I started doing like a retinol because that's good for lines. I'm all about masking. I have really like oily, acne prone skin, so I'm into like a clay mask. Some people that are dry, they're not into clay masks. They're into more like hydrating masks. SPF for sure. But I learned like the more you're drinking water, like diet. Nowadays, I just eat like French fries and drink rosé. So my skin isn't as great as
We're gonna have to have you back on in a
be.
few months when you look all haggard and fucked up from that diet.
I am trying to get good though. I did wake up at 4 a.m. today and work out. So
good for you. You should put that back in. It's 2023. You.
Yeah. I was in a bathing suit. I mean, I starved myself before. I hope Eric's not watching this.
This is awful.
I starved myself before I went to Hawaii because I was going to be in all these swimsuits, and then I got there and it was
in all these swimsuits. Did you have a photo shoot for Sports Illustrated to meet you there? Fucking Honolulu.
No, but I did see that one of the guys from Guns N' Roses and his wife, who I idolized, they were in Hawaii too. And I saw the picture when we were there, and I was like, Eric. And in my head, I did have a moment where I was like, I kind of feel like that's us, but it's like he's like a legend and she's a supermodel.
You said you kind of feel like that's us. Oh, wow. Okay. So there's a little bit of delusion also happening. That's good. Okay. So moving on. So while we're in the wheelhouse of self-care,
Yes.
there has been many photos I've received from you and times I've seen you in person where I have
I don't know where you're going with this
insisted, and I will not take no for an answer, that there is some work that has been done to the face.
I wish.
With attention to the lips.
I wish. That's
So let me finish. Okay. So she has told me, please don't interrupt me. She has told me, she swears up and down that it's a lip liner. Okay. This has been going on for months. I have yet, and I've asked multiple times for the brand, the name of the lip liner, because every single Botox filler, whatever the F, Juvederm, is going to go out of business when they find out about this mother effing lip liner.
I should have brought it. We'll link the products down below.
I need the lip liner name. And I want you to be honest.
Okay.
Have you had anything at all done? I admitted that I had Botox and it was very hard for me to do.
Okay. We're definitely spilling the tea. See, I told you tea spills the tea. I appreciate you thinking that I had work done.
Not one thing.
Let me finish.
Okay.
So I would say maybe 2 years ago I had Botox in my forehead.
Okay. Thank you for telling me.
And my body.
Do you feel better? You feel good now, right?
Well, yes, I'm not done.
Okay, sorry.
So my body ate away at it really fast. For anyone who's listening, if you work out a lot, your body eats away at it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a muscle relaxer.
Oh, that's why mine's going to last forever, because I do no exercise. Go ahead. I'm excited.
That's why mom's
Mom also listens to this podcast, so let's be nice.
So the Botox in the forehead didn't work.
What do you mean? Like it wore off? Like
Yeah, I still had a
long?
big crack between my brows because I'm always making faces at people.
But
It was
weeks?
firm. It was firm for like a month.
Okay, so everyone, just so you know, it's supposed to last like 3 to 4 months.
I personally don't think I got enough in my forehead because I only got like less than 10 units and you're supposed to do like 20 something.
I got 36 units.
Okay, so I do want to get my forehead done.
But you also don't have as many lines as I do because you're almost a decade younger. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just different.
I make that face a lot of people though.
With the angry face? Do it.
Well, you can't do it because yours doesn't move.
This is my angry face.
The 11.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have that.
It's like the grand.
I did. And I had crazy like lines here when I smiled.
Oh, I don't have that.
And that's gone now. And this is as high up as my eyebrows go.
Yeah, you look great.
Yeah, I'm frozen in time a little bit. It's kind of nice.
So that was the only time a needle was in my face.
Okay, so it's just one time.
On the forehead.
Nothing else.
No.
I mean, I call bullshit, but okay, we're going to move on. So, I do need the name of the lip liner because I want to go get it and I want to experience it before I can buy this as the truth.
It's 2 products. We'll link it down below.
Stop saying that. I don't know how to do that. There's no fucking link down below.
People love the links.
She'll comment in the comment section on what it is because I have no idea what it is.
There's 2. Our cousin back home, Vanessa, she knows one of the products. It's a lip.
She even said there's no effing way it's that.
It's a lip plumping lip gloss where over time you have to use it for it to be effective. I have used it for probably 3 years straight, like 3 times a day. It tingles and it numbs you where you lose. I don't have much feeling in my mouth anymore.
Okay, that's awful. Jesus Christ.
But it's, you think I got work done and I didn't. It's $30 at Sephora and I'm on auto. I've had it forever. For 3 years.
Are you on like an auto
I think so.
It's on a mailing thing? Wow.
I'll get you one.
You have a subscription to it.
That'll be my gift to you for your podcast kicking off.
I don't know. Like, I don't believe you because you keep saying things and then you don't do it.
And then once that's dry, I will go
it has to dry? Like you put it on and
it's
then it dries?
really wet and then you can't do the lip liner. So then...
Why don't you do the lip liner first? Oh, you have to do the lip liner
because that
after.
has to plump and sink in and then you lose feeling. So your lip goes like numb. So if you like tap it...
Oh, wow. Okay.
It goes numb. And then I go in with the lip liner because that has already puffed up the lip. And then
so now you have a new line to go because the lip's bigger. I see.
No needles, no doctor's appointments.
I need the information.
Okay.
And I need to share it with anyone who's listening that would like it.
No one else has asked me about that. Everyone is like, "Oh, your lips are."
People aren't going to ask you. They're afraid. And I don't give a shit. Here's the thing about a family member. They will ask you something and they will not care. I feel like siblings should be like that. Like you should be able to say anything to the person where no random person going to go up to you and be like, you got work done, right? Like who says that? No one's going to do that.
Well, after your last episode, people say anything. So
they will ask you if you're having quadruplets when you're bloated from a meal.
No, that's the secret. Like you don't need to go to a doctor anymore. It's at Sephora.
Okay, wow. I got to check it out. All right, so
I did also hear, though, if you do have lip injections, if someone goes to kiss you, your lips are really hard and they can tell that there's filler in there.
That's disgusting. I won't do fillers. Freak me out. There was a patient who came into my office who told me a horror story, and her face looked a little bit swollen. And so she had to find, this is a wild story, she had to find the plastic surgeon who did the work on, is it Kris Jenner, right? The husband? The ex-husband? Bruce, sorry, I'm sorry.
The one who's now a woman.
Bruce, yeah, the one who had that whole thing. So obviously, think what you will, whoever did his face did a great job, I'm just going to say. And so she had to seek out the plastic surgeon that did that person's facelift and face, because she had years and years of fillers in like her cheeks and I don't know, other places in her face that over time, like I guess they're like, it has like a cumulative effect where it hardened and they couldn't get it out. So this is awful. If you have like a weak stomach, just fast forward or whatever, like get out of this podcast. They had to like literally cut her face, pull the face back, scrape out all the filler and then put it back.
No.
And that's why she was swollen, but they got all of it out. Now I was talking to this woman who did my stuff when I was telling you guys that story. And she told me that there are ways now where you can inject something into the filler that like disintegrates it, like it gets rid of it, which is good to know because.
Or you can just go to Sephora for $30.
Or you could just go to Sephora for $30. So I'm going to do that. Do you remember the name of it?
It's called Too Faced Lip Injection, but it's the maximum one.
Too Faced is the name of the brand. Lip Injection Maximum.
They also make a travel size.
$30. I'm all over it. And anyone who would not like surgery and just wants numb lips that are pouty, let's get on it. Yeah, because you've sent me pictures where it looks like you've sucked on a shot glass.
I mean, I'm glad that that's the effect it's giving.
I don't know that it was good. I'm just saying that that's what it looked like.
Mom's had her lips done.
Okay, well, she's not a guest. We'll talk to her about that when she comes on. So moving along, you have had a very interesting journey leading up to. So right now, Tanya dates this guy. His name is Eric. I talked a little bit about him on the last episode. Super great guy. We like him. She loves him. It's been great. Like I said, the only red flag is his continued dedication to my sister. I'm just kidding. I love you. But leading up to Eric, and I want to just say this as like a disclaimer. I do not envy anyone who's dating in this day and age because, and it's funny, like I saw this meme the other day about how, I forgot the gist of it, but it was basically like, or whatever, like the actual punchline of it. But basically the gist is like, this guy, it's a girl writing it. And she's like, this guy told me he was going to pick me up in his car at 8. And I thought, what is this, 1965? And I've seen too many Dateline episodes. I'm going to get murdered. So I canceled the date. And it's so funny because I sent it to my friend and she's like, 41 or something. And she's like, call me old fashioned, but I would be like, go F yourself if like a guy told me he wasn't going to come pick me up. And I'm like, things are so different now, right? Like you have Uber, you're meeting people online. It's not like it was like when I was dating, they didn't have any of that. So I think it fascinates me, like dating stories now that are happening like now or in the last couple of years. I mean, I haven't dated in like 14 years. Is so crazy to me. So Tanya has like amazing stories,
incredible,
about dating. So I am going to just let you take the floor, and I want you to start with. We'll do like a
how
theme.
mild you want to go.
No, we'll do a theme. Like, so what's the weirdest date? We'll do different categories. Okay. Weirdest date.
There's one that actually comes to mind with that. So This had to have been about 5 years ago. Is when I actually first started with a company that I'm with now. So I was like going on dates every night. I was like 25, 24.
And this was through like online dating?
No. So this was in person, which makes it even better.
What do you mean? How are you meeting them?
So I went out to this bar with this girl that I worked with, and she had a long-term boyfriend, so I was kind of always like third wheeling it with her and her boyfriend. But that night it was just me and her. So we're at this bar, and they had like board games set up at like these high top bars. So I was playing Jenga with her, and it's like LA, everything closes at 2 a.m. and like lights come on, like right before the lights came on. I'm playing Jenga, and this guy comes up to the table, and he like starts playing with me, and it's kind of dark, but I can kind of see
Jenga.
him.
The thing where you pull the things out.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And just to give you kind of an idea of what he looked like, I like to deal with numbers. So he was I'll say he was a 7. Like my boyfriend now is like a 12, but this guy was like a 7. 10 being super hot.
Okay.
And I want to give you a description. So think of like a Clark Kent, like black comb over glasses, like clean cut.
Okay. I like it.
So the lights come on, and I see him. I'm not drunk. I see him, and I think his name was Chris. I hope he's not listening to this, but I haven't talked.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
No, he's definitely not.
No one's listening to this. I fucking hope he is, because that's one view.
The lights come on, and like me and my friend are leaving, and he's like, can I walk you guys? I think we were waiting for an Uber, and me and him were chatting or whatever, and he's like, I'd really like to get your number. And I remember I was at a point where I was like, no, I don't want to say desperate, because I've never been desperate. I was just really looking forward to like meeting a guy. Like I had this great job, and I lived alone and all these things. And I was like, this guy's good looking. He's sweet. I'm not judgmental about looks, but back in the day I was. So I exchanged numbers with him, and I get in the Uber with my friend, who was very judgmental. And she was like, oh my God, like you met this guy organically, and he's really cute. And he was texting me. He was like, hey, he's like, it was so nice meeting you. Like, let me know when I can meet you for a drink. And I was like, okay, great. And I had a big set of rules back in the day. Like I would never just have dinner with a guy right away. I would only have a drink, because it's like, I don't know if I like you. I wouldn't sleep with a guy right away. Like I would never date a guy that was a cat. I broke all those rules because I broke all those.
Wow.
So
nothing like me.
Don't have a rule book when you're dating, because it doesn't really help. So anyway, I worked 2 jobs, so I didn't see him for like 10 days, but we were kind of texting on
From
and
that
off.
first interaction when you
Yes.
met. Okay.
And we were texting here and there, but I don't really like to text a lot before I meet you, like for a date, because then if I don't like you, then you get your hopes up. So,
I just want to remind you that we're going to go through several stories. So any details that you feel we don't need to know, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
So I want to say maybe 10 days goes by. We meet for a drink. So he picks this really nice bar. I show up. He's like, hey, I'm here. I'm sitting at the bar. I said, great. And I remember I genuinely don't get excited about guys at all. And I remember being really excited about him, because it wasn't through an app. It was just organically, whatever. So I remember walking, it was like a Monday night, because I remember the bar was there. I walk into the bar, and I see the back of him. It's like a movie. Like I see the back of him, and it's like this great bar. It was like this like Great Gatsby, whatever. And he turns around, and it's like the emaciated, starved version of himself.
Wait, what do you mean?
And
What?
I've never done drugs before, but this is what I would assume.
But the lights went on in the bar, so you saw what he really looked like.
I was really excited about it. I mean, he was a 7. A 7's hot in LA. You're like an 8. So
Okay.
So I think his name was Chris. I hope he's not watching this. But I go, oh, hey. And the bartender looks at me like, oh, shit, this isn't going to go. And it looked like I just met him, which I didn't. And I remember giving him a hug, and
bones?
I wear like a size 5. I'm not big, but he was so small that I felt
so fat.
I was like, wait. So I sit down, and I actually like, and I sit there, and now I'm confused. I'm actually genuine, because I remember being so excited.
Wait, did something happen in the 10 days?
He just looked emaciated, and like what I would think if you like
So, but he looked different than 10 days ago.
he looked super like sickly and like a skeleton.
And he didn't look like that 10 days ago.
No, it was like Clark Kent.
What the fuck?
So then we sat through the date, and
Maybe he was
then
dabbling in meth for those 10 days. I'm trying to think of what does that to you that fast.
I forgot what he did for work. I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Go ahead.
So then we sat, and I'm really bad if I don't like someone, I'll still sit through like a 4-hour date. I can never get out of it. And I remember I sat there for 4 hours. I was really tired. He insisted on walking me back to my car. I was like, no, he insisted. And I felt like I was walking with a skeleton. And I remember being so upset. And he tried to kiss me. I was like, no. And then I got in my car and I had all these text messages like, how was your date? That guy was so cute.
Oh, from the friend.
And then it was like a skeleton. And then I think he texted me the next day and I was like, no.
Okay. So I was hoping you were going to tell the story about the guy. Unless this didn't fit the weird category for you.
I have a ton of weird stories. This can go on for hours.
You told me a story about a guy that was missing something.
Oh,
okay?
that
So
guy.
tell that story.
I think his name was Chris too.
Okay. Well, it's a sign.
This was still in my time of the apps. And full disclosure, I met my boyfriend through a mutual friend, so there was no apps involved now. I grew out of that. So I see this guy, he was maybe like a 6 in photos. Like he wasn't super hot, but I was like, whatever, let me just go. And I meet him at this really nice restaurant and I sit down and I'm not feeling it. So I'm not scoping out what he's wearing, what he smells like, his hands, his face. Like I'm just not into it. I just want to go home.
You're not paying attention to details because you know this is it. This is not going to be a thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Which I think a lot of girls listening, like if you're not into a guy on a date, you're probably not going to check anything out.
No, and you know right away. You're just like, let's get through this. And then you're thinking about when this is going to be over.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, we're talking, and the table behind us, this girl that I knew from work is actually sitting at the table behind us.
Oh,
and she
weird.
leans over. And
Wait, just by chance?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
She leans over and she like waves and looks at me. And I'm like, Ashley, I'm like, don't come over here. So she, of course, comes over. And I'm like, hey, this is so-and-so. Like, she can tell I'm not feeling it. She's just being friendly. I'm like, hey, this is my friend Ashley. We worked together in the past, whatever. She leaves. And we're talking about something, and I'm kind of just falling asleep because I fall asleep on dates that I just don't want to be on. And he goes, I guess, he's like, are you going to need another drink for this story? And holds his hand up and he's missing his ring finger.
I can't.
So
wait.
I
wait, I did not know this. The reveal was, are you going to need another drink to hear this story? And he holds up the fingerless hand.
Yeah, but the thing is this, I have to back up because I showed his picture to somebody that I worked with, like, oh, I'm going on a date with this guy. And in one photo, he was double fisting and it looked blurry, but it looked like he was missing a finger. And the girl goes, is he missing? And she goes, no. She goes, no one would ever post that picture. I go, oh, God, no.
Only someone who gives no fucks or ring fingers.
So I said, sure. So he goes and gets me another drink, and I just like sink into my chair.
I actually can't.
And as he gets up, I see the girl that I know sitting behind him. And I'm like, and she's like, how's it going?
You should have told her emergency call me.
So he comes back, and the joke that I made was, at least it wasn't your ring finger on your left hand, because if you ever get married, it was on his right hand. But the story was just, he goes, it was 9/11. I go, that's pretty abrupt. Like, if that's all you lost during 9/11, other people lost like arms and legs. He's like, no,
lives.
He wore that.
What?
I should.
This is not a good. Please don't.
I should laugh at that. But
oh my God,
no, he
too
goes.
soon.
He says, I was drunk and high in college, and it was 9/11. I got my finger caught in a door because I was running down my dorm hallway. So he wasn't saving puppies. He was just like, he wasn't
frantic because of what was going on.
Exactly.
Oh
So
my
we woke
God,
up
I
and
can't.
it was 9/11 on the TV.
Yeah.
I guess his hospital room, and his finger got amputated. And then he did call me the next day for another date, and I politely
declined.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I have that other good story about that guy and the numbers, but if you don't want to hear it, it's fine. I have so
Okay. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Around the same era on the apps, went on a date with this guy. He was pretty cute. I would say he was like a 7.5. He was pretty cute. Whatever. And we go to this bar, and he is normal. I'm kind of feeling it. I don't know. I guess I was going on so many dates at the time that I was like, it was like Russian roulette. I'm like, oh, he looks good, whatever. Okay. So he's like, so we're kind of sitting on the date and he's like, I got to ask you. And I was like, yeah. And I love to get into debates. I love to get into like, I'm not political or anything like that, but I like to get into like open conversations. Like this was a little too personal, but he goes, this is the first date. He was like, so how many people have you slept with?
Wow. That's bold.
And I was like, you are not, first of all, you're not hot enough to be asking me that question. But
You have to be like an 8 or an 8.5. Like, how hot do you need to be to ask that question?
Like a 12. But I've never been asked that. And honestly, to this day, I've never been asked that after that. And I was kind of put on the spot.
I have.
Well, you're married. But
Well, I wasn't when that was asked. What do you
but
mean?
I didn't, first of all, I was like, I have to do the math. Do I lie? Is he going to know if I lie? Do I tell him the truth? Like, who is this guy to ask? So I was kind of hit with a bunch of different emotions. So I say something stupid, like more than 5, less than 10 or whatever. And then I didn't really care to ask him, but I thought I was like, so what about you? Like I didn't really care. So he goes, I hope he's not listening to this, but he's probably not because I don't even remember his name. He goes, I've slept with 5 women. This guy was also closer to 40. I've slept with 5 women. I go, oh. But he goes, no. He's like, I only slept with them 5 single times. So he's only had sex 5 times in his whole life.
I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. That's
and
awful.
he had to clarify. I actually told that to one of my clients and he was like, oh, so he just got out of prison. But he called me the next day and I had to say, I'm sorry, I can't.
That's weird if he was good looking. There must be something very strange about him.
He wasn't that hot. Like he wasn't.
7.5 is, you literally, you told me that the Clark Kent guy was a 7. And he was so hot.
I mean, it took me 10 years of what I like to call clown shit to land what I have now. But Chris was like, emaciated Chris was like a 4. I think in LA, if you're like a 6.5, you're getting by.
Meth Chris. We're going to call him Meth Chris.
Everybody's spectrum of hot and numbers is different.
Maybe we'll call this episode like dating meth addicts.
Clown shit is what this episode should be called.
I'm not saying clown shit. Clown shit is so, I like all you do is send me emojis of skeleton faces and the clown one.
Those are my 2 favorite.
Ugh, I can't.
But yeah, no, none of these guys were hot enough to be acting like that at all whatsoever. And I went on a lot of respectable dates after that.
You also dated someone that was kind of famous by association, didn't you? Do you remember that when you lived with Clark and I?
Yeah. I dated this guy who, you know what? He may listen to this though, but that's okay.
Tanya, I don't think you realize how small an audience I have still.
I mean, I still talk to him sometimes on Instagram. He's cool. His brother won American Idol many seasons ago, but he was one of the first guys that I met when I moved. I was like 19 or 20, and now I'm
That's cute.
old.
Who was it? Tell us.
His brother won season 7, David Cook. His brother's totally going to watch this, and now I feel bad. So, hi, Andrew.
Andrew Cook. Hi, Andrew. I hope you are watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thanks, Andy.
He's married with a kid now, but...
oh, shit, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what everyone does nowadays, but we should tell the story about my birthday. Remember that?
Oh, God. I'll tell that story. Okay. So, you're 31 now? Mm-hmm. Okay. So for Tanya's 30th birthday, she was dating this guy. This is the guy, if you guys have been watching this and listening to this religiously, like I think you and hope you have, this is the guy that she called me and told me the only red flag is he wants 3 kids. And I was like, that's not a red flag. That's a life goal.
He also can't afford them.
And she said, well, it's a red flag for me because I don't want any kids. And I was like, did you tell him that? And she's like, no. I'm like, then that's the red flag. Okay. So this guy. So they're dating. She really likes him.
It was like
I'm going to tell you this story from my viewpoint, not from everyone else and what I was thinking the entire time. I'm pregnant with my son, Luca, at the time. I am like, bada boop boop beep, like 6 or 7 months pregnant. 7 months. My daughter, my mom, my husband. So Clark, my mom, Livia, me. Surprise Tanya, because she doesn't want to do a big thing. She doesn't want to do a party. I'm like, how about we go to like a really fancy restaurant, right? So I decide, and I don't tell her where, that I want to take her to this place downtown LA called 71 Above, which is basically a restaurant that's like near the top of the US Bank building on the 71st floor. So it's beautiful because it's a round restaurant because the building's round. And all throughout the restaurant, you see these little signs of like how many miles away these major cities are. So as you're walking through like the circle of the hall of this place, it'll be like Hong Kong, however many miles, New York, whatever. It's really cool. And if you get a window seat, because it's like floor to ceiling windows on the outer edge, you're literally overlooking what feels like all of California because you're so high up. Like
helicopter.
It's like LA. Like it's just beautiful. On a clear day, if you go there for brunch, you can see Dodger Stadium. It's very cool. It's very expensive. So it's one of those things you pay like a flat fee and you pick like, it's like a 4-course meal or whatever. But it was like her 30th birthday and I was like, let's do this. My mom's like, I'll split it with you. I'm like, Mom, it's going to be like probably $1,000 for all of us to go. She's like, yeah, okay, I'll split it with you. I was like, okay, cool. So we go, she doesn't know where she's going. She gets there and realizes, right. And she's blown away and it's great. She arrives there with the guy. What was the guy's name?
I don't want to say that on camera.
Okay. We're, for the purpose of this story, we'll call him Bob. So we all go up there and they give us a window seat. And I'd only been there twice before for my anniversary. Yeah, we got all dressed up. And because her birthday is the beginning of December, the whole lobby was set up for Christmas with a beautiful tree. Like it was gorgeous. And we go up there and it's hard to get a window seat there because they're in high demand. But because we were a larger party, they put us at the window. It was amazing. It was like perfect. So they put us at the window. We're all ordering our food. Bob's shooting the shit. He's from a similar area in New Jersey.
This was the first time you were meeting him.
Yeah, of course. This is the first time meeting him. So Bob, who wants 3 kids, is telling us a story of his family being from Jersey, which is very close to where our family in Jersey is from, and how great is it they have that in common. He's a golf instructor. He teaches private lessons, so we know he's a teacher of some kind. Fine, okay? And my mom is just being my mom, which, if you guys know, it's a little rough around the edges when you meet her for the first time. You know what I mean? She's not like, but she was nice and she was sitting there. And how it was me, my daughter, and Clark and Tanya. And then across
Clark's
oh no,
across.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was me, my daughter, Tanya up against the window. And then across from me was Clark, my mom, the guy up against the window. Mm-hmm. Actually, no. Clark was in the middle of mom and the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. There's fucking 6 of us are
We'll
sitting
link
there.
a seat in your chart below.
So, shut up. So, basically, he's talking. It's fine. But all I'm thinking is downstairs when I met him. So there's something I don't particularly like. Guys, I'm sorry if you're doing this. Please knock it the fuck off, okay? But if you have like a beard or like, you know how you do your beard, but then like it's not really a beard, but it's like this kind of a shaggy. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. What I have a huge problem with is not shaving this. Like if you have the neck is all like part of the beard. It's fucking gross, and there's no reason for it. He had all of this. He looked like a dirty man. I'm sorry. I'd never communicated that until right now, and I feel so goddamn liberated. So he has dirty neck hair.
I've definitely moved up in the world.
And just like also like not like he looked a little bit like a homeless guy. I don't know what was going on, but whatever. She's into her thing and I'm like, fine. She's happy. I'm happy for her.
I wouldn't go that far, but
so it's her birthday dinner, 30th birthday dinner. It is a Sunday. The next day, Monday, is her real birthday. This is very important for you guys to understand the timeline of how what I'm about to tell you, the reason why it's so messed up is because of this.
I have to cut you off and just say one thing. We were only dating for maybe like 2 months. It wasn't that serious. But okay, go on.
To that, I will say, for the purpose of the story, and I think most people will agree with me, and I really want to hear from you guys on this, honestly, in the comments, for real. I don't care if they were dating for a week. Mm-hmm. This story, I want you to weigh in on what you think about this, because I thought it was so fucked up. Okay. Mm-hmm. At the end of the meal, the bill comes. Tanya goes to the bathroom. It's a digital thing that you pay. Very fancy. Fine. And I tell my mom, just Venmo me. I'm going to pay the bill all on my card. And it's like $900. Okay. So he gets up and comes over, Bob, right? And he goes, let me chip in. And I said, no. This is our gift to Tanya. You're on your own. You got to get her own gift. Her birthday's tomorrow. Literally is what I say. And he's like, all right. You know, like annoyed that I wouldn't let him chip in. So I was like, okay, fine. We pay the bill. Everything is fine. We leave. The next day, text Tanya, happy birthday, right? Because it's her real birthday the next day. Bob is sitting with the information that dinner was $900. I just paid for his meal, the 3 glasses of wine he drank. Okay.
This story is making me sick.
And you're on your own for her gift, and her real birthday is the next day. So I'm going to stop right here. As a guy, if you're ever in this scenario and you're just dating a week, a month, whatever it is, and you didn't plan to get something big because it's a new relationship, it doesn't take much. Go to the fucking grocery store and buy flowers and a card. Or come over and make dinner and have a movie night. Do something that acknowledges that person's birthday. Mm-hmm. Okay? Especially when their family just spent over $100 on your meal. Okay? On just your meal. However, Monday came and went. Tuesday came and went. And Tanya, who, like Tanya does, I'm sorry, made excuses for this massive red flag.
It was so bad.
Because she liked the guy. And I've done the same thing where you it's an oversight. You're like, no, it's fine. You don't want to deal with that's a bad thing because I like this guy. And she kept saying to me, don't worry, it's brand new. I wouldn't have expected anything. He never gave her a fucking thing for her birthday. Am I an asshole? Am I crazy? Please tell me, because I thought that was awful. She did not did you get a card?
No.
Did you get a flower?
No, he's also poor, but
it doesn't matter. Did you get a card or a flower?
No.
Did he come over and go, let's do something here. I'm going to do something cute for you for your birthday.
No.
That costs nothing.
No.
Cool. So he got her nothing. And I was fucking livid about this, especially because of the birthday dinner and because I said to him, you're on your own. You got to get her your own gift.
It's called
And I'm going to tell you something, dude. I don't give a shit if you're poor. Fucking grocery store flowers cost $10. $10. If you don't have $10, you shouldn't even be, which maybe I believe because he doesn't have fucking shaving cream apparently. Okay?
I'm dead.
Anyway. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting like loud, and was so upset about this.
It's called
etiquette. It was so
though.
shitty.
Not everyone has manners.
I said this is a red flag. I said da 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 da. No one listens to me because what the fuck do I know? It's not like I've dated a bazillion guys and I'm not in a successful relationship now, so I'm an idiot. Don't listen to anything I say. Sorry, I'm very upset about this still. Fast forward to this. They break up, and then please tell the viewers and listeners what you found out about him.
Oh, I forgot about that. So I love going down a rabbit hole.
So tell us about the real Bob after. What happened?
I went down.
You break up.
We break
after
up.
You break up, what happens?
Which was fine. And then
thank God.
It was only we only talked for like 2 or 3 months. It wasn't even that. It wasn't even the thing.
Doesn't matter.
So I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on a lot of social media, but something comes up where I pretty much see a wedding photo with him. It's his wedding. Like he got married years ago.
Like as the groom.
As the groom.
He's in the picture. Okay.
And it was this cheesy like barbecue backyard wedding. Like the budget looked like it was like $300. Like nothing I would ever be a part of.
So he was married before.
So he
never told you this.
He never told me that. And he was married prior.
Mm-hmm.
He told me he was with a girl for like 6 years, but he never elaborate on being married. I didn't ask, to be fair, but
he probably has those 3 kids.
I thought that you would tell someone that you're dating, like, hey, I was married before. So then this
is the best part.
I find the whole wedding album. Like I go to the photographer's page, I found the whole wedding album. He looked horrible, which is fine. But I was like, wow, he was married. And so I did the math and it looked like he got divorced a year within getting married. Later do I then find out that the girl that he was married to pretty much works in like the same building as one of my locations now that I work
I think
in.
next to your store or something, right?
Like it's like very close vicinity.
How fucked up. I feel like you were targeted.
Yeah, LA is really small. So then when you met Eric, you did say, have you been married before?
I was the first thing I asked him. I was like, have you been married? Look me in my eye and answer the question. Have you been married? And like I clapped in his face, like answer me fast. No.
Yeah, that was, I think it just comes down to I'm big on manners and the etiquette. I mean, like, Eric buys me trips.
I mean, just
places, which
basic.
is
Don't fucking
wonderful,
lie to my
but
face.
That I'm
Also.
talking about the birthday thing of not even.
Oh yeah,
like,
that
a
was
card.
fucked up. Anyway, that was really effing annoying.
You don't have to spend a lot to make.
That was the last boyfriend before Eric, so
I wouldn't say that he was a boyfriend. It was like a fling. I wouldn't.
it wasn't a fling. Were you sleeping with other people?
This sounds like the date. If you're how many people I've slept with.
Were you sleeping with other people while you were seeing this guy?
I was dating him, but it wasn't like an official boyfriend.
That's what I'm saying. You were dating. What the fuck do you think that means? Okay, I can't do this. You have weird definitions for things that you're like, well, we weren't dating. It was just like I was dating, but I wasn't his girlfriend. You're just assigning weird titles to
That's
shit.
what it was, though.
Okay.
He sucked, though. He's gross. That honestly,
I don't pay over $100 for someone that's not your fucking boyfriend. So for the sake of the goddamn my own conscience, that was your boyfriend.
On a scale from 1 to 10,
he was a -4.
maybe a 5, maybe a 5, maybe a 6.
He was sub-zero. So, those are some good dating stories.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about our relationship.
Yeah.
Tell us. I mean, I think I talked a lot about my viewpoint of our relationship on the last episode, episode 3. So why don't you tell us about how you feel about what has our relationship been like evolved from what your earliest memory until up through now?
Well, I think that, as I think the viewers and all your fans know, we're half sisters, but I never really thought that. Like, I always assumed like we had the same mom and dad. So when I see you, I never think like, oh, we have different dads. I was actually just telling this story when I was in Hawaii about like, I always thought you were like, when your older sister's a teenager, you think she's so cool. And I remember like I was telling Eric stories about like we would come home and you had like a bunch of guys in the pool or like
This is awful.
You know,
first of all, I think you need to like also. I was a teenager and my parents were there. We were not doing weird shit. It was just that I hung out.
I wouldn't go that far.
First of all, no, I would. I hung out with a lot of guys when I was younger. It wasn't like that. It did get like that, but at this time period she's talking about, it wasn't like that.
But we had like the pool table set up at home, and I remember being younger and thinking like you were so cool, and like you had a boyfriend, this and that. And I think you said this in the other episode, like where you did raise me. I think you've always been more hands-on raising me than mom. Mom doesn't listen to that.
She's absolutely going to listen to this. For a short time period, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah. But when
you were with mom without me.
But you told me all of like the grown-up stories and puberty and boys and like like you've always explained.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think our mom has been good at like, she's never had a birds and the bees type conversation with us. She always avoided those things. And I know that was actually not to my benefit. I think that I figured things out on my own to a fault. And I did not do well as a going through puberty and all that because I didn't have that information and I didn't have like an outlet. So I remember thinking like, I should have this conversation with Tanya because mom's probably not gonna.
Yeah.
And I don't want her to turn into like a raging whore. And you didn't. So it's probably the good thing that I did that.
I mean, on most days I'm not.
No,
but
you never had
when
that.
I moved here, I remember it was very Three's Company. And when I moved in with you guys, I didn't know Clark. So that...
Oh, yeah. When she moved here, she had no idea who Clark was. She'd never met him before.
Yeah.
So she was literally coming to live here and meeting him for the first time, which is kind of crazy.
And I remember thinking, well, I hope it works out with them so I can stay. So it was definitely Three's Company. And I remember like we had so much fun. Like we were all like, I was still little. I was like, 20? And like you guys seemed like, you still seem like big kids to me. And then you guys like went to Hawaii and got engaged, and then we helped plan a wedding and you got a house, and it was like I saw the Pinterest life unfold for you. And then when you got pregnant with Liv, of course, I bounced. And I'm like, I wonder how it would be if I stayed longer, but then I knew the dynamic of Liv being here was going to change a lot. And I remember when I told you guys, you were really sad, and then Clark was like, cool, like, do you need a U-Haul tomorrow? So like Clark was very excited. No, Clark was like, you can go. I mean,
he was proud of you, but he wasn't like, he didn't want you to go. None of us wanted you to go.
I still live in that apartment, almost 7
Same
years
apartment.
Later. But that really didn't answer your question. But our relationship, I feel, yes, you give me advice and I seek out. I think when I ask you for advice, I know what you're going to say. I know where you're coming from.
You're just playing a game of like, am I guessing that she's going to say this?
Am I?
Because you don't take any of the advice.
I mean, I'll take like 10% of it.
But I feel like nowadays everything is pretty smooth that I don't have any. I feel like I always came to you with like boy stuff and that's pretty smooth and solid now. So I feel like as I've gotten older in my 30s now, we're more like friends and you're not like what like you're not mothering me. Like when I moved here I didn't know anyone but you and Clark. So you know, I would come home from school and the three of us would hang out and we had chores to do, and then you got married and had a kid and grew up, and I was still kind of going on bad dates with guys with no fingers. So. But yeah, I still feel like you and I talk about stuff that we maybe couldn't talk about with mom, or I know she's gonna hear that. But I feel like as I've gotten older, you're not really like the motherly like, and I think that stems from taking care of me for a good chunk of time.
Yeah, and I think our age difference contributed to that too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
being 8 years or almost 9 years or whatever it is, like older than someone is a whole generation missing in between. When you're siblings, you are going to like, it does become like one almost feels like the grown up and one feels like the baby. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because that's kind of how it is for a period of time. I mean, imagine being like a 10-year-old and there's a 2-year-old around. Like, it's weird. You know, there is a dynamic of like, can you watch your sister for a second instead of like, you guys go play together. We didn't go play together. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So it wasn't like that. We weren't close enough in age to have that. But I definitely agree that I feel like we have become more like what I guess sisters should be, like, and friends. And like, I also think that any siblings, I'm sure mom has reality with this. Like her and her sister, I'm sure talked about things that they wouldn't tell their mom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's
I
normal.
think a lot
like,
of siblings do that where it's like, you don't tell mom.
like that's
or,
you tell your brother or your sister, you don't talk
Yeah.
about the same things that you would talk about with your parents, you know? Like,
yeah. Like I think we talk about stuff like relationship stuff, finances, like mom, that's not really stuff. Mom's like old school where I'm not going to her about like stuff like that.
yeah. And I actually feel like most of the people I know that have that kind of a dynamic with their parents are only children.
Yeah.
Like if you're an only child, you usually are pretty tight with one or if not both of your parents to a point of like, that's your person that you go to for everything. But if you have a sibling, it's a little bit different because it's a different type of person to go to.
Yeah.
You know, also, listen, mom, I love you, but you know this. Like, you're a little high strung. You get stressed out about stuff very easily. So like, it's not necessarily like the safest person to choose if you have like bad news or you're in some trouble or you need some help with something. Like, you're not like really, you know, going to have a good.
If you crash and burn, don't call Linda.
No, she will flip out.
If your Gucci heels break at a wedding in Hawaii, don't call
No,
Linda.
she would have cursed you out and told you you're an asshole for spending that kind of money on that fucking shoe. Are they knockoffs? See, my knockoffs don't even break and they're not real or whatever. It would have been a whole thing.
They
Do you
were
know what I mean?
real and Gorilla Glue is going to fix them. Hopefully my boyfriend is fixing
So
them.
brutal. Do you think Eric would come on the show?
Probably.
So her boyfriend, I mentioned this last time. I don't think I said it loud enough, but 2-time Emmy Award winner,
Well,
5 times nominated.
We'll put a link down below.
I can't. This is going to be like a reference
It
page
took
of links.
me 10 years of clown shit, and people are like, you know, I just had a client say, oh my God, I see your Instagram. And I was like, yeah, it took me 10 years of literally at the circus. And I had a mutual friend say, hey, this guy in my band looks like Dave Grohl. Come over to his house. And I heard Dave Grohl and I was just sold. Everyone thinks Eric looks like Dave Grohl.
That's cute. We'll let you guys be the judge of that if he comes on. That'd be fun.
I mean, again, I saw like Guns N' Roses, Duff, and his wife Susan in Hawaii, and I was there, and I showed Eric, and I had a moment. He didn't agree. I think he probably thinks I'm delusional. But yeah, it took 10 years of trash to.
I'm telling you, dude, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
You did your due diligence.
Yeah.
And you earned it now.
From
That's how it
birthdays
is.
to no gifts to lavish
God.
birthdays.
Well, I mean, I hope you enjoyed being here.
This was great. There might be a part 2.
There might be a part 2. We'll see. We'll see what the people want. You
Yeah.
know? We gotta listen to the people.
Is mom gonna come on your show?
I hope so. People are actually looking forward to it.
That may be a top.
If I could get her to take her sunglasses off while she sits here, then I think it's an easy in.
It's gonna.
I've already talked to her about it. I was like, you can't have your fucking sunglasses on. She's gonna be like looking around at everything. Like, it's gonna be
like a newborn baby.
a hot mess. A hot mess. And I don't edit these shows, so that's also a high risk for me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if I don't edit the podcast, which I don't, and we're just gonna let her just let it rip, it's gonna be it's going to be interesting, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, I really appreciate you and I love you.
I love you
I'm
too.
very proud of you.
I haven't done that much, but I mean,
No, I'm proud of you. You grew up to be a decent fucking human being.
decent. A 7 out of 10.
I'd give you a 7.5 because you have all your fingers.
An 8 with a spray tan.
An 8 with those the admission of the
What would you give Clark?
Clark, like on a scale from 1 to 10.
I'm all about numbers.
About like who, like full package, like looks, who he is, all of that.
Yeah.
Clark's a fucking 12.
See, we only deal with 12s. Clowns are in the past.
Oh, I love Clark. I love Clark. Clark's my best friend.
12s only.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you know what? That's all we have for today. So, Tanya, thank you so much for being my first guest. This is very exciting.
I'll be back.
This was really fun. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I wouldn't want anyone else to have been my first guest. So thank you. I really appreciate
I'm so
that.
excited.
I love you. This was great. Yeah. Thank you all for listening and tuning in again on the Jokes by Jay podcast. Bye.